We're being recorded. I see some new faces here. So I'm real happy to get together with you on this Saturday. Next Saturday, I'm going to be in Angola, Africa. And the following Saturday, the first Saturday in February, I might be in Angola. Oh, I will be Angola. So I'm going to still try to have the meeting. Angola is 6 hours ahead, so that'll be evening. And I can take a break from my surgery. All right, so why don't we open it up for questions? So the way to ask a question is to raise your hand so I can see you, or, okay, Anthony has a question. Hi.
Hi, doctor. I started the homeopathic for the eye pressure that you provided at one pellet twice a day.
Right.
And it's really having no effect. I still get the throbbing every once in a while. And I was wondering, I know we were supposed to schedule a time to meet. Did you want to schedule before you increase my dosage on it? Or how do you
Now,
want to proceed?
How long have you been using the homeopathic remedy?
2 weeks.
Okay, well, you might want to check with Dr. Martinelli. Probably I'd like you to use it for at least a month.
Okay, at one pellet twice a day?
Yeah, and then check with Dr. Martinelli. You should get your pressure checked.
Okay.
Because you still may be having the same symptoms, but it'll be a miracle, let's say, if the pressure's down 10, 20 points.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now,
We'll do
if
it.
If the pressure's the same, then I'll say, well, we gotta, change the remedy.
Okay. So you don't want me to meet until after I meet with Dr. Martinelli?
Right, yeah. To get a
Okay.
pressure
No,
read.
not a problem. Thank you.
Okay, good. All right. We have somebody up here, owner. You have a cap on. I can't see what it is. We don't have a name.
Vivian Allers.
Okay, and there's a gentleman up there, glasses and a ball cap. I don't see your name. On the computer screen, it has owner. Yeah, that's you. You just moved. What's your name?
Are you talking about me in the blue hat?
No, I'm talking
The other
about
gentleman.
a gentleman
Okay.
with a ball cap on. Glasses, ball cap. It looks like glaciers on the cap. Or Glade. Yeah, what's your name, sir?
I don't think he can hear you.
Yeah, now you're unmuted. Can you hear me?
Hello?
The guy with the Glade cap on. I guess he doesn't hear me. I have everybody else's name. Jean, Mira, Anthony, Marianne, Elaine. Yeah.
Bonnie.
Bonnie, iPad number 2. Mary, but I can't see Mary. Jean. Okay, any other questions? Oh, Marianne,
I
hi.
have one.
Hi.
Yep, I hear you fine, Marianne.
Oh, okay. I wanted to know what causes the crustiness on the eyelids.
Usually that's a condition called blepharitis. It's just the word that means inflammation of the eyelashes. And usually it's a combination of inflammation and dry eyes. The microcurrent will help because microcurrent reduces the inflammation. Also, warm compresses and the ozone eye drop should help.
I've been doing the warm compresses and it's almost gone.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I do the microcurrent also every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
And you might want to try the ozone eye drops.
Right, I've got to get my head around the way to do it. So
Okay,
I'll look it up on your one of your things.
I have it. I have a YouTube video on the ozone eye drops, and
Okay.
Chris can help you.
The
It's-
other thing is I'm very disappointed. I have my, could not order any more of the Optique, and I like those drops.
Well, the FDA is cracking down on all homeopathic eye drops. It's unfortunate.
Why, what is their reasoning?
The main reason is that the FDA is run by big pharma, and they don't like homeopathy. And they've been out to get homeopathy for the last 100 years.
Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, the lady with the nice blue hat. What's your name again?
Vivian?
Vivian. Okay. Yeah. The
Yes,
Zoom user comes up.
yeah, I'll have to ask my tech expert how to change that.
No,
Anyway,
usually when you join the Zoom meeting, they ask you to put your name in.
okay, I'll look for
And you
that
put
and
your
I'll do
name
that.
in, so I like to know who I'm talking to.
Sure. I have a couple things. I had blepharitis and I used the Aquamed drops with the microcurrent, and it's completely healed and gone. I had dry eyes and blepharitis, but the
That's
Aquamed
interesting
seemed to help.
because the Aquamed really isn't developed for blepharitis, but it does have glutathione and ascorbic acid. Both are anti-inflammatory. So
Right, and with the microcurrent, I always use the drops before I use the microcurrent cataract program, and it's been cleared for years, actually.
oh,
It
good to
worked
hear that. Yeah, the
very well.
microcurrent acts as a carrier. By that I
Yes,
mean, as you use the microcurrent, it helps carry those products into your eye.
right, and I have had my microcurrent machine since the last conference that you had at Dolphin Beach. I don't know, it was 5 or 6 years maybe.
Oh my
And
goodness, you go way back.
way back. And I use it every day. It was the best investment I have ever made.
Oh,
I use the brain balance program and love it. It just makes me feel very centered in my adult self. Reduces any stress or chaos. I use it daily with great results. And the anti-inflammatory program, I'm a line dancer. If my knees complain, I glove them and it sucks the pain right out. So basically it keeps me pain free, and I'm so grateful that I invested in it. But
mhm.
I'm wondering if, I've had the same program for cataracts since that time. And I'm wondering if a change of program might help my cataracts anymore. Uh, I had actually scheduled cataract surgery somewhat reluctantly and with quite a bit of fear. And then asked you last meeting, and you said not to do it unless it actually interfered with my life.
Right.
And I pretty much do my life. I dance 5 to 7 hours a week. I, spend time with my friends, and I'm able to do most things. I can still drive. So I canceled. But I wonder if there is uh, anything else that could help my
Well,
left eye.
a couple of comments about that. Sometimes the body gets used to the frequencies. They don't have the same effect. And if that's the case, we will either change the current, add some frequencies, change the waveform. So that might be a consideration, especially if you've been using it for over 5 years.
Oh,
Also,
yes.
every couple of years, I do add new frequencies for each program.
Oh, you do?
Microcurrent is constantly evolving. So the program that I used for cataracts 5 years ago is completely different than the one I'm using now. I like to think we're getting better, more fine tuning, the programs. Technology changes every year.
Right.
So you might want to talk to Chris about that. We have ways of
Okay.
reprogramming your machine online, which is nice. You don't have to send the machine in.
I am not a tech expert, but I have friends who are, could probably help me.
Yeah, it's kind of simple. You do need a Windows computer.
Which I do not have, but I may know somebody who would help
Mhm.
me out. My vision with the right eye with the most developed cataract also has a gel detachment from 4 years it's been now. And I don't know, does that, if you have a detached aqueous, does that heal to the point that you have normal vision usually? Or could
Well,
that be part
usually
of my,
the detachment of the gel, the eye is filled with a vitreous gel, and as we get older, it begins to shrink. The general
right?
rule is you take your age, and that's the percent chance you're going to have a gel detachment. So I'm 73, and I think the gel is detached in one of my eyes. It usually does not cause any symptoms at all.
It doesn't affect vision?
It usually does not affect the vision. In some cases, you can get an increase in floaters, and in rare situations, as the gel detaches, you can get a break or a detachment of your retina.
Right. Well,
It's rare
an
that
eye surgeon checked my eye the day that it happened, and the retina was intact and remains intact. But am I at higher risk for cataract, a successful cataract surgery if my gel is detached, or does that
it really
not
makes
make any
really
difference?
makes no difference.
So not to worry about the detached gel.
In fact, most patients who do have cataract surgery have a detached gel just because of the age group of the cataract surgery.
All right. How will I know when it's time?
Well, you will know when it's time when you really are suffering and you're limited to do all the activities. If you start having trouble line dancing and you're tripping and bumping into people, I'd be the first one to say, you better get the cataract surgery
Time
done.
for this surgery. They'll be telling me you need to get that surgery. All
But
right.
I think
Well,
most people who have cataract surgery don't need it. The doctors are saying, well, we should operate now. It's young, it's early, you get better results, we'll make you perfect vision. I just don't buy that. It's just marketing. I mean, they're
thank
being
you.
paid to do surgery.
Right. Thank you for being such a truth teller. In this era, it is not easy to find truth because everybody dilutes it or makes up stuff. It try to, clickbait, and it's very confusing to us older folks. So
No, it
it's
is
so nice to
because
have someone we can trust with the
unfortunately,
honesty. And
medicine is run by big pharma, and it's run by
yes,
outside interests. I think that it's a shame. The whole pharmaceutical industry is based on maintaining disease. And it upsets me so much every
right.
time I watch television, which I rarely do. I can't believe the commercials. Every other
Oh,
commercial,
yes.
they're,
Eloquist,
I mean,
Jardiance. I mean, they have a whole musical about
mm,
Jardiance. It's
mm.
just
Well, what they
disgusting,
do is they're educating you that you have a problem. Then you have a solution. Everybody is depressed, so
which
you
is,
need this medication. Um,
yeah.
it's a common marketing ploy. They
Oh,
they
yeah,
educate you that you have a problem, then they sell you a solution.
exactly. I had a friend who worked for Pfizer and set up the contact with the physicians, and she let me look at what that was all about. And it was really, you
Yes,
know,
yes, test.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, um, I had another question about cataract surgery. Um, and that is that I have to make a choice when I get that surgery, if I get that surgery, to have both eyes done and then have less correction or no correction in my vision, or to just get one eye done. And then I would have to wear glasses and it would not be 20/20. My other eye is 20/50, so it would probably be 20/50, but I have felt like I would just want to do one eye in case anything happens or it doesn't have a good outcome. I still have an eye I can get around with.
No, I agree with you 100%. You should only have one eye done, and it should be the poorer of the two.
Yes,
So if something does happen, or you're not satisfied with the surgery. Now, it's
Yeah.
different. You know, I'm going to Africa next week, and usually when I operate, the patients are blind. I mean, they cannot function with the cataract. They can't even see their hand in front of them. It's so bad. And in those cases, we usually do both eyes at the same time because I'm probably the last eye doctor they'll ever see.
right. That makes sense. I mean, if they already can't see out of either of them, there's
Yeah.
a double chance of improvement with both eyes done. That makes sense. Thank you. You have allayed a great deal of anxiety for me.
Oh, well,
I
thank
really
you,
appreciate it.
Vivian. And any other
Appreciate it.
questions, you know, just, but make sure you talk to Chris. We may want to update your machine.
Yeah, I do want to do that. I have another question. It's not about my eye, but I just found out that I have a little on my thyroid. I have an almost a square inch little growth. There's a name for it that I can't remember right now. But a little 1 inch square growth on the right side and a little pinhead size one on the left side. And I just saw a surgeon, but I haven't had a biopsy yet. But, you know, I'm wondering if there is any alternative way of treating that that's short of surgery.
Well, there's a
Yeah, I
lot of
would
good
not like them
alternative
to.
doctors. You know, I'm an eye doctor, so I can't give you
I
advice
know,
about
but
thyroid. But I
right,
would
but you're
always get a
very
second opinion.
knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you find is it a functional physician that I want if I want alternative?
I like,
mean,
there's two websites you can go to. One is called um, the American College of Alternative Medicine.
okay,
That's a good site.
I'll go there.
But ask Chris, or you know what I'll do? In my email, when I send you a copy of this recording, I'll send you a couple of sites to find good alternative doctors.
Thank
Let me
you.
make a note of that. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, we
thank
have
you.
another question here. Mary Ann, you have another question?
Yes, I have another question. In regards to what you were saying with the technology for the microcurrent, April will be 3 years for me that I've been using it, and everything, my retina doctor says that everything is stable. My glaucoma doctor says there's been no changes. So do you think that I should probably have that updated?
It may not be necessary. Not everybody needs an update. You know,
Okay,
if you're doing well, I would say if you develop a new problem or your vision's declining, then you definitely need an update.
so the a thing of 3 years don't really go by
I don't
that.
really think it matters unless you have a decline in your vision or a new problem that we may want to update. I mean, to
Oh,
be honest with you, I'm using the same program for the last 10 years
okay,
on myself
okay,
because I'm doing fine. I'm doing the inflammation, and I have some shoulder problems, and I'm using the hypertension program.
right. Well, I do use all of the initial 5 that are on there, and then every now and then the thyroid. I don't use too
Mhm.
many of the other ones,
Mhm.
but because I don't need them.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that was I was
But I'll
really
tell you what, I'm really happy to see such so many of you dedicated to microcurrent using that for 5 years,
yeah.
3 years.
And I tell people, I tell my eye doctors, I tell them, I went and my vision had improved when I got my eye exam. I said, oh yes, I've been using the microcurrent, which I think at least they can hear about it,
Yeah,
Right.
well, more and more eye doctors are beginning to use microcurrent. I have a group of about 5 eye doctors who are using the microcurrent.
I would be wondering where my vision would be if I didn't have it. How it may have not progressed. And the glaucoma doctor would like to, because I have a 18 on my pressure, and she would like to do laser surgery, and I just can't go along with that just because from what I understand, she told me it won't improve my eyesight. And then when I talked to my homeopathic doctor, he said, you won't be able to heal any further once you have that done.
Right.
So I put that on the back burner, and I just figure that I'll stick with the microcurrent and I do have the Aquamed drops,
Mhm.
and I do the homeopathic. So I think that's a better way to go. And then, of course, I work all the time on improving. I think it's a eternal work of trying to maintain a better eating always.
Right. Well, remember this, I'm not totally against laser surgery or glaucoma surgery. Some patients, they're doing the microcurrent or doing the homeopathy or doing everything right, but the pressure still climbs. And if there's evidence of you losing vision, either to the optic nerve or visual field, then you need the laser. But I
Okay,
think most patients don't need those procedures.
right. I would much rather do all that I could alternatively than go to the surgery. To me, it's a last resort.
Good. Well, you and I are in agreement.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay, Bonnie, hi.
Yes, um, I don't have any of the stuff yet, except one thing came yesterday. And that is the homeopathic Pulsatilla nigra.
Yes.
There are instructions with it, but it did not say how many doses you would take in one day. Would you take one?
Only one.
One, okay.
I have a YouTube video on that. I don't know if you watched that.
No, I didn't know you had a YouTube video, but I will.
Yeah, if you go to Kondrot YouTube.com.
Okay.
In fact, let me do a share screen here. And I'll show you folks where to go to. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, so go to www.kondrotyoutube.com. Here. Okay, then you go here, playlists.
Uh-huh.
And I have a playlist on the home program.
Okay.
Let's see, prayer meeting, here. See the home program?
Mm-hmm.
And you click that.
And there you
And I
are.
have one, intro to microcurrent, review of the InSuperstar machine, improving your results with microcurrent, 6-hour urine, taking your homeopathic remedy, all about light therapy,
Mm-hmm.
glove placement. So if you take your homeopathic remedy, I give a little video on how to take the remedy.
Okay.
So that's an important link, especially if you're starting the program and you have questions
Mm-hmm.
about the microcurrent.
Yeah, glad to know about that. Um,
And in fact, I should add one here on using pads with your microcurrent machine.
uh-huh. Okay. Well, it says to use distilled water and to put it in a glass container. But that's distilled water has been living in a plastic container for quite a while. I also have a water filter here. Could filtered water be just as good, or must it be distilled?
Yeah, I think that really you just don't want a contaminated source of water. So
Uh-huh,
whatever water you're drinking at home, you could probably use that for making the remedy. I
uh-huh,
mean, ideally it should be distilled, but I don't think that's a requirement.
yeah. Well, distilled is easy to get. I just was curious. You pour it from plastic into glass, and then
Right.
it's okay. So another question that I have, and this is not about me, it's I have a neighbor with macular degeneration, both eyes, and he's lost central vision in both eyes. He does have a wife he lives with who helps, but she's not as sharp as she used to be. Does your program help people in a situation like that?
Are you talking about the early dementia? Or are you talking about the
No,
iPod?
no, I'm talking about his vision.
Oh, definitely. And that's typically the type of people that we get, people that are losing their central vision, they're going blind, and
Yeah,
their eye doctor tells them nothing can be done.
right.
That's the person who usually finds out about me. They begin using microcurrent and they begin to, make some positive changes in their life to help their vision.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm not sure how with it they would be about this, but maybe I can talk to him.
Or maybe
But
you could help them.
I could help, but I don't want to babysit, you know.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I'm babysitting about 8 people every Saturday.
Well, we're people that can use our iPads and get on and talk to you and navigate that stuff.
Mhm.
I don't think either of them is in
No,
that.
but actually, if you do help those people, I believe in certain laws of the universe. Whenever
Uh-huh.
you help somebody else, it'll come back as a benefit to you, maybe fourfold.
I understand that. I'm aware of that.
And I think more people should, that's why I feel that, I'm going to Africa and I could think of other things I could do than going to Angola and suffering with the heat and living in a tent. But
Mhm.
I think, the spiritual gain that I have coming back.
Yeah. Is really
Absolutely. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, well, Ben Gillis, we found out who the mystery man was. He's Ben Gillis.
Yeah,
He wrote a question.
can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, new laptop and the microphone wasn't working, didn't have my name on the owner, so I switched devices. But anyways, I got a question, Dr. Kondrot. I've been on about 10 months, almost 11 months being treated for cataracts, and just I don't know if I'm getting better. Maybe I've slowed it down, but just wondering what other things I could do. And I saw on your website a homeopathic cataract tissue salt. Is that something you still recommend?
Actually, it's no longer on the market
Okay.
because of the
Okay.
FDA. I
Oh,
do recommend the Oclamed.
I'm on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do recommend the right constitutional homeopathic remedy that you take. That's the one with the dropper.
Yeah. Yeah. I've changed that a couple of times. I may want to schedule and talk with you about maybe, I'm not sure I'm getting a benefit from what
Mhm.
I'm on. I'm on, I think conium maculatum.
Yeah, that's a big remedy for cataracts, but I think I shared with all of you that out of all the conditions I treat, cataracts are usually the toughest, mainly because they're very slow to
Yeah.
change. And also they're usually due to underlying abnormalities like heavy metal toxins in the body, diet,
Yeah.
nutritional deficiencies, things like that.
Yeah. And I went through all the heavy metal testing. I was very, in my opinion, very high. And based on the chart the doctor's data provided, I did the 6 month and it's come down. My mercury came down into acceptable levels, but my lead was still elevated. So we're continuing to work on that. I'm just, I just want to keep trying doing the things that you've recommended. I feel good about doing it. I just wish my eyesight would get better, but I figure I'm 67 years old. I didn't get here overnight. It's not going to heal overnight. So just
Now,
going
are
to keep.
you, is your vision stable? You think it's stable or is it getting worse?
I think over the 11 months, it's gotten, my worst eye is the right eye has gotten worse. My left eye seems to be staying pretty stable. That's been the better eye throughout the whole
Mhm.
thing. And we got snow on the ground, and my gosh, the glare, we haven't had snow since last year. And I'm like, the glare was like unbelievable. It's kind of why I have my flip up sunglasses, depending on where I'm in the house.
Mhm.
But
And how are you able
um,
to function? Are you able to do most of the
yeah,
activities that you
yeah,
enjoy doing?
the only thing that I struggle with is driving. I can drive at night, but if it's wet out, it's like no way, no how am I ever going to drive with it wet again. Just
Mm.
too much glare. I don't know if there's any other added. My my daughter's mother-in-law, she purchased some glasses that are supposed to help with night driving. I haven't talked to her to see if they help her. She's not being treated for cataracts, but like you say, we probably anybody that's over 60 or more probably has some cataracts going on.
Right.
But no, to answer your question, I'm still able to do everything that I like to be able to do, and I'm not in any hurry to get surgery.
Mhm. Well, let's, continue the treatment. Remember what you're doing to help reverse your cataracts is also helping to improve your overall health.
Right, and that's
And then,
exactly why I still stay in it because I believe what you say. It makes sense to me. The underlying issues are probably what caused the cataracts.
mhm,
The heavy metal, not eating, as good
mhm.
as we could. Um, so,
So I
okay.
think maybe what we should do is touch base and see if we can find maybe a better homeopathic remedy.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking it might be time to do that.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another comment. I have had cataract surgery. I did that before I even knew about you because a retinal specialist said, well, it's quite mild, but you might get a little boost in your vision from it. And I did it, and a very good doctor did it. And it did give me a little boost in the vision. But the fact that I have that done, does that make any difference with the microcurrent or anything else that I'm doing now?
Well, unfortunately, um, I think there is a higher risk of then developing other problems after the cataract surgery. Not a
Such,
great risk, but I do feel that it does increase the progression of macular degeneration and might be related to, glaucoma, not in everybody. So
mhm.
I think well, you had the cataracts, but You had the surgery, but you did nothing to take care of the underlying problem. So what you're doing now in terms of alternative treatments, homeopathy, microcurrent, that's the kind of strength in your body, and we're addressing those
Yeah.
underlying problems that may lead to other eye issues.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you.
Can you use the microcurrent after cataract surgery?
Oh, yeah, but we would have to change the parameter. So if you're using the cataract program and you have cataract surgery, we would change the frequencies. Maybe eye health frequency, stimulate the retina, rejuvenate the healing, help the healing, and that type of thing.
Okay.
So if you do have cataract surgery, then you would notify the office, and then we would set up a time and would make some changes in your microcurrent machine.
I haven't received my machine yet, so I'm assuming that you have that knowledge. I did put it in my literature, but should I remind Chris?
Yeah, Chris usually sends me, once you select your 5 optional programs,
Uh-huh.
he emails me, and usually I turn it around within, half a day or so. As soon as I get the email, I'll program it, send it to
Yeah.
the manufacturer.
Okay, she told me she was waiting on all those papers that have to be signed and witnessed.
Right,
And
yeah.
I had sent them to your address in Zephyr Hills in Florida, because that was on the papers. So you may have received them in a manila packet.
Yeah, I would talk to Chris about that. It's probably best that you email us. Do not use mail. I think what I'd recommend is if you take a picture with your iPhone
Uh-huh.
and send us, the picture by email. That's the fastest.
Yeah. I just went, I sent her an email that said, I sent it to Florida, and could you check and see if it has arrived there? I sent it January 8th. So you may have it, but she doesn't realize that you've got it.
Well, I hope you didn't send it to Florida, because we no longer have an office in Florida. That could be.
Well, it's an address. It's right on the pages. It's Zephyr Hills.
You have to talk to Chris about that. You may have an old form.
Uh-huh.
That we've updated the address in all of our forms. We'd like you to send it directly to Chris.
Yeah, well, I had just downloaded the forms that were sent to me on my computer. I printed those, had them all signed. Maybe I need to go through that process again and then photograph everything.
Yeah, talk to Chris so you have the right link.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Mary Ann, your hand's up. Your question?
Yes, I was wondering, are the iPads as effective as the gloves when doing the microcurrent for the eyes?
We don't recommend using the iPads for the eye.
Okay,
I don't think they're as effective, and they may cause problems with the sticky gel on the back of the pad. I recommend the gloves. The pads are wonderful for treating other parts of your body. I use them for inflammation. I use them for a shoulder problem and things like that. I love the pads. And for those of you that may not be familiar with using the pads, I did make a YouTube video, and I'll send you the link too. A link for using the pads, and I'll put those in the playlist for all the programs.
would you use it for the brain?
I think the gloves are much better for the brain.
Okay. Thank you.
Miss Betty Parker, how are you? Oh, okay, you're unmuted.
Quick question. Can you reprogram the microcurrent using a Mac computer?
Unfortunately, oh, you can't. Theoretically, you can, but I don't recommend it. You can get something called Parallels, which is a Windows partition in a Mac.
Mm.
It runs the software, but right now we're having trouble with connecting the microcurrent machine.
Okay.
So the technology isn't there yet to use the Mac. So I
Okay.
do recommend using the Windows.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That was it.
And you can always buy like a used Windows computer, for a couple $100, it'll work adequate.
Huh. Okay.
You don't need something that has a fast operating system or all the gadgets. All you need is a simple Windows computer, and you can buy them used. In fact, I bought a used Dell computer for a couple $100 just to use.
Huh. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mira, hi, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Kondrot. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine,
Okay.
yes.
I have a couple of questions. One is I have an appointment with my new optometrist coming up, and he mentioned for his annual, that big exam, he wants to dilate my pupils. And I haven't had that done since my 20s when they fitted me for contacts. Why is he doing that? And my previous one, who was doing really thorough job, never done that. Like, do I benefit from that? Because it's at least inconvenience and cannot drive myself back home. I had to take my husband from work, and like, do I really need that? Am I going to benefit from that?
Well, usually the best way to do a thorough retinal exam is to dilate the eye.
But I have
Yeah.
cataract. Does he really needs to?
Well,
Like,
you can do an exam undilated, but it's not as thorough. So I would recommend that you should have a dilated exam.
oh, okay, then I'll go with that. And my other question is regarding brain program. Out of all my programs, I've been using a microcurrent machine for 6 months almost. Brain program gives me immediate vision improvement. Even during the program, I can see more clearly. I have some like posters across the place, and how that program works and what can contribute to that, because I would like to address that other ways I can. Like, I hope it's not my brain like being slowing down, but I'm really curious, because even my brain, my eye program, after like taking towels off, I don't see any improvement.
Mm.
Actually, it's usually very blurry for a
Well,
while.
we need our brain to see.
But I know, but
your
what can give me such immediate, like, it's even during program is like 20 minutes, even after 5, 10, I can see posters, I can see edges, and I just take my glasses off. I have like a -5, so it's blurry just because I just took my glasses off. Like, how I can stimulate my brain other ways, because I can do brain program only once a day.
Well, normally, when you do the eye or the brain, we only like you to do it once a day, mainly because the eye and brain has a certain recovery period. You don't want to do it too frequently. But, the eye is connected to the brain. You can't separate the two. If you didn't have a brain, you wouldn't see anything. So you need you need the occipital lobe to process those visual signals that are coming in. Then the other thing is when you do the brain program, it does help with your autonomic nervous system. So when your body's relaxed, you're going to tend to see better than when you're under stress. So I'm really happy that you're seeing that. So we should deduce from that part of your visual problem is related to your autonomic nervous system. So, helping your body to become more relaxed, deep breathing, positive affirmations, all these things. So it's not unusual. That's why I do have the brain program mandatory on everybody's machine. When you order a machine from me, I select the first 5 programs because I think those are essential.
So what else I can do now? When you told me autonomic nervous system, I have an idea, but is there any other program that I can, like, you can add that it will target? Because that's probably the big chunk of my problem.
We could make some modifications in that because I have about maybe a dozen brain programs that I use for different conditions. So maybe we could set up a private consultation and I can talk to you and we can make some changes in that program.
Okay, so like I'm out like almost 6 months. Is this a good time or should I wait a little bit longer? Because it's working, so I would like to expand on that.
Well, it's human nature. We always want it to work better. But my answer is if it's working, you're getting a positive benefit. Let's continue the treatment and look at other things that you can do. I don't want you to become dependent on the microcurrent. As your body gets stronger through a good homeopathic remedy, maybe relaxation techniques, meditation, deep breathing, positive affirmations, prayer, all these things to balance your autonomic nervous system.
So
Doing it more natural ways.
yes, for consultations that you mentioned, is this like a now good timing or should we do it a little later? What would be the
Well, we could do it now. It
okay?
sounds like you're interested in maybe improving, and we could work on it.
Okay, I'll have that checkup to see my vision, how it's doing, because I cannot tell. Because I have a really high prescription now. I'm really myopic, so when I take my glasses off, it's just scary. But I don't know what my cataract is doing, because and it depends on light. When light is favorable, I can see really well. When it's not, I don't know, like my vision, how it's doing. But I'm feeling better, and I started my LM2 homeopathic remedy 10 days ago, and I really think it helped. I see positive changes because by now I know what is different. So after I'll wait for that exam to just see where I am, and then I'll schedule an appointment with
Yeah,
you.
then we can review everything. But
Yes, because I think things that are showing such a great results, that's where my problem probably lies. So I would like to do everything I can. Relaxing is the hardest part for me. So thank you. I don't want to take more of your time. I have idea what to do. Thank you so much.
okay, thank you. Jean, did you have I saw your hand quiver.
Yes. Okay. I was just wondering how often I should have my eye scans done with my optometrist. I sent some to you on the 7th of November, but I haven't had any done since. How often should I have these done so you can check my progress?
I think every 6 months.
Oh, okay. All right then.
But it depends. I mean, every 6 months if you're stable, but if it's an acute problem and you're losing vision or you're in pain, then we need it more frequently. But usually for most issues, every 6 months is adequate.
Okay. All right.
And then also listen to your eye doctor, whenever he wants to see you, then send me a report.
I don't see my eye doctor anymore because he is not receptive to alternative treatment. So I don't see him. Yeah, I guess
but
everybody
you
feels the same.
need to find somebody to examine your eyes, even if it's the Costco eye doctor or the Walmart eye doctor.
Okay, well, I was having this optometrist. She said she would take over to monitor me. So I'm hoping that will be adequate, or do I need somebody else?
No, that would be adequate. In fact, earlier today, I just got off a meeting, 5 optometric doctors who are studying homeopathy with me.
Okay. I
So
did try
we have a nice group. We have a nice group of eye doctors who are learning homeopathy and microcurrent.
Oh, great. I did try to contact that Dr. Jung or Jang, I think her name was, that we talked about the other day.
Yeah,
and we were playing telephone tag. We still haven't talked to each other, but I did determine that I think she is from Hamilton, not from Quebec. So Hamilton is within the possibility of me having an occasional visit with her. So
she would be perfect. She's in fact, she's one of the few doctors like me who are actually certified in homeopathy. She got her degree.
Oh, that would be super. Yeah, well, I'll keep trying to connect with her.
Mhm.
She did call me back, but I don't know what was wrong with my phone. It wasn't picking up. So yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And there was another thing about they were talking a while, I don't know which program it was we were talking about this blue something if you're using your computer a lot. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, the rule of thumb is we need blue light during the day. That's why God made the sky blue and the water blue. At night, we should avoid blue light. We need a more red spectrum.
Oh,
So
okay.
I recommend that if you're doing a lot of computer work at night, get a pair of blue blockers.
Okay.
And you
And-
can
and-
buy blue blockers at any optical shop.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, or just avoid the computer at night. Right?
Yeah, the best thing to do is when the sun sets, you should rest to relax.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's
Of
about all
course, you're
my
up in
questions.
Canada. You
Yeah.
probably have about 4 hours of daylight. You'd be sleeping for 20 hours, huh?
Not that bad. It's not that bad.
No, I heard it's
But-
real bad. I talked to Sarah. It's bad.
But we have an awful lot of snow right now. It's never been this bad, and I can't remember ever having snow like this before.
Yeah, well, forget about global warming, huh?
Yeah, right.
Vivian, you have another question?
I do. Does it matter if we do the female brain balance program right after we do the cataract program, or would it be better to do them at separate times?
No, it'd be all right to do it right
Back
after.
to back?
That would be okay. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I needed to recover or, before doing the next program.
Mhm.
Okay, thank
But
you.
you have to listen to your body. Some people can tolerate running all 5 programs back to back.
Oh, yeah.
Some
Oh,
people
I
will get
love it.
jittery.
It's fabulous. I look forward to the brain balance. It just totally de-stresses, relaxes, and I feel like I'm in my full adult self, which isn't always the case.
Now, this is funny.
it's
This is
a-
the group that everybody loves the brain balance.
Yeah, it's a great program. I love
Forget
it.
about the eye. It's through the brain.
It is for female. What would happen if a male used that program? Would it not
Well,
be
if
a
you're
good thing?
transsexual or cis, then you'd want to do that.
Yeah, I talked to my son about it, and then he was talking in a high voice and walking around daintily, like, you know. But
Well, now most of you have just a generic brain balancing. We do have specific ones for male and female, but so many people were sharing their brain balancing with each other, their husbands or their wives. So I decided make it generic. I don't want to get into trouble. Okay, any other questions?
Well, is it true that someone who has a pacemaker should not do microcurrent?
Well, that's listed as a precaution on the literature for the Inspir. But when I first started to do microcurrent, I required a release from the cardiologist in order to use it. But I find that the current is so low, it doesn't interfere with any of the pacemakers. Some of the early microcurrent machines dealt with milliamps, thousands of a microamp. And most of the programs that you're using is anywhere between 40 and 100 microamps. A microamp is a millionth of an amp. So it has no effect.
Okay. All right. I don't have the pacemaker, but Dawn does, right? So, yeah. Okay.
okay,
Elson, how are you?
Hi, doing great. Had 2 questions for you today.
Good. We need more male energy in this group. We only got 3 men and all these women.
They're smarter than we are.
No, they
All right.
just stay
Wow.
healthier and they live longer. That's the key. the key.
That might be it, or they realize that they reach out more than we males, thinking that we're proud and too proud to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, my questions are twofold. One, is there any connection to oral health and eyes? And two, on the heavy metal protocol, I had my joints popping and snapping a little bit. That was kind of unique, so I kind of pulled back. Do you have any recommendations for that?
Well, the first question about oral health, there's a joke that if you have an eye problem, you should first see your dentist before you see the eye doctor. So there's a strong connection between oral health and your eye health, especially if you have root canals, you have mercury amalgams, etc., or what they call cavitations, focal infections. They can affect different meridians in your body, adversely affect your eye health. So I do feel that there's a strong relationship. When you got the popping, you were doing the urine challenge test, or was it during a chelation treatment?
It was during heavy metal detox. I'd been on it for a while, and then my joints started to kind of snap. I don't know if I was running low on other minerals, so I tried putting a few other minerals in to replace some of those, the good minerals. And then I got sick and just pulled back from everything. It's like, okay, I don't get sick very often. It's time to just cut back for a little while.
Yeah, you may have been too aggressive with the detox. And also remember, when you're doing any type of detox, make sure that you are well hydrated. Be drinking extra water. But I do think if you're eating healthy food, you have good nutrition, it should not lead to any type of mineral depletion. But it's always a good idea when you're doing chelation to take a good mineral supplement.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate what you do and your heart. Working with people in Africa, that proves that you're not in it for the money. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, well, thank you for being a brave male, not afraid to ask questions. Okay, any other questions? We're coming to the close.
I can just add that my husband uses the brain balance too on my machine, and he does good with it.
Oh, good. Well, we had a lot of good reports on the brain balancing. So those of you that are not using the brain balancing, you may want to add that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like $1 million. It's great.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Thank you
Okay,
so
well-
much, Dr. Kondrot.
Oh, well, thank all of you, and
Thank you.
we'll be meeting again the first Saturday of next month. Any other questions, just contact the office. And I'll be sending you a recording of this video along with a link to find alternative doctors and also a link for using the pads, because some of you are new and you might want to explore using the pads. Okay?
You can add the pads if you already have the gloves.
Yep.
Do they
Mhm.
just snap onto the same?
It's a different type of lead.
Oh,
I think you'll love
Okay.
the pads. I love them.
yeah, I use the other programs with the gloves, and if the pads are even better, I might want to get a set.
Yeah, like if you're using the gloves on your knee, it's kind of cumbersome.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now I just put one pad below the knee and one above and forget about it. You can, All right, everybody have a good weekend, okay?
Thank you. And
You
you
too.
too.
Thank
Thank
very
you so much.
you.
Bye.
I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Dr. Kondrot.